So we are recording this, you guys, so it's okay if your people are late or they hop on late. It's no big deal. They will still be able to watch it later, but we're going to go ahead and get started so that we're mindful of your time. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ricky James, and I'm super happy to be co-hosting here with my dear friend Terry. Terry and I are on opposite sides of the world. I am from Texas. I am a mom of 8. My youngest is 3. My oldest is 22. I've been in health and holistic wellness for almost 20 years. It's one of my passions. And when I came across Super Patch a little over a year ago, it was very quickly, it blew my mind and impacted my family. And for those of you who don't know what it is, this beautiful little patch, this is our technology here. It took Jay, our creator, 15 years, 22 million of his own dollars. So you just stick it anywhere on your skin like this. Very simply put, this is like Braille for your brain. There's a little pattern on one side. This pattern or code connects to a specific neural pathway in your brain, which connects to your nervous system. So we have 13 different patches, and the purpose of this call tonight is not to speak about any specific patch or even necessarily how the patches work. Okay, this is a call so that you guys can hear from our practitioners and experts in their fields who are using this tech daily in their own lives and also in the lives of their clients and patients, and some of the just mind-blowing stories. So I've never had this capability, right, of sharing something so powerful with so many different types of people and different healers and practitioners. And so I'm super honored and humbled continuously to be a part of Super Patch and be a part of impacting lives in a complete safe way that are supplement free, drug free, no contraindications. And I think that is one of the main reasons that our practitioners who are on here tonight are also loving implementing these products in what they're doing daily with their clients. So, having said all that, I would love to introduce you to my dear friend, Terry St. Amand. So, Terry and I have become really good friends over the last 6 months or so, and he's such a joy to work with. We get to co-host these incredible events together. And Terry, my friend, I'd love for you to hop on and introduce yourself a little more and our next guest.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Ricky. It's just an absolute honor to be here to co-host. This has been a journey for me that's been absolutely thrilling. I never ever thought that I would have an opportunity like this in my lifetime, to be able to not only help people with their quality of life, their quality of sports performance, but the friendships and the culture in this company is second to none. And our product is ahead of its time. This product is so mind-blowing that it's hard to wrap your head around it, but all you have to do is wear it. It's as simple to put on as a Band-Aid. We've all put on a Band-Aid before. It's just like putting on a Band-Aid, and then let your body do its best to function. That's what we do. And so it's really, really exciting to see some of these things. We have our inventor and CEO really, really cares for everybody here. He's focused on the mission of helping, he says 1 billion people, but I think he wants to help all 8 billion people in this world. So, and that's what we do. We have an opportunity to do that because you know why? This patch, the demographic of this patch is anyone with a heartbeat and a brain. That's our demographic. We can help everybody, and we have 13 different soldiers in our lineup, as I call them, and we have a very diverse display of patches that can help you. So I'm just delighted to be here to work with Ricky and to work with Carolyn and Nicole. We got it together going on here, and we're really excited. So thank you, Ricky, and I'm just delighted to introduce our first guest. So I don't know whether you want to start the recording.
Yeah, I don't know how I wasn't already. I thought I already was. So thank you for. Oh no, we are
recording.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
it is.
recording. Hey,
Oh, okay.
freaking me out over here.
Normally you hear the voice that says this meeting is recording, and I didn't hear the voice. So, anyways, we are recording, so that's exciting. So I'm really, really delighted to introduce our first speaker tonight. This is Helen Benn, and Helen is a dedicated blood microscopist. Oh, I nailed it, Ricky. I nailed it. With a passion for uncovering the hidden stories within a single drop of blood. She has a keen eye for the detail and deep understanding of live blood cell analysis. Now, Helen has been studying the intricate world of microscopy to help people gain insight into their health in ways traditional methods often overlook. From identifying nutritional imbalances to spotting early signs of dysfunction, her work bridges science and holistic wellness, offering fresh perspective on what our blood can tell us. Today, we dive into a fascinating journey of live blood microscopy and the changes that can happen on a cell level when using our incredible Defend Super Patch. The power of the microscope and what it truly means to look beneath the surface. So it's my pleasure to welcome Helen Benn to our call tonight. Helen.
Thank you so much, Terry. That was lovely. So what I did was prepared an actual video rather than introducing slides, clicking on one to another, and then getting lost in the details. I really wanted to stay focused and specific. So yes, generally on these calls, we're going to be talking about all these soldiers that we have. But today for me, for this presentation, it's just the Defend patch. Although I love the others, like I can't pick one favorite. They're all incredible. So I'm just going to share my screen. Maybe if I can get my technical skills going here. So can you see this screen, everybody? Can we see it? Yeah.
Yes, you are good. You're good.
Perfect. Okay, so this will just walk you through it without me getting lost in the details. Here we go. My name is Helen Benn, and I am a blood microscopist, amongst other things. And I have a private practice at the Natural Health Centre in Barry's Bay in Ontario, in Canada. So today I'm going to share with you two images of blood samples before and after applying the Defend patch. So the first step was to have my client let me take a sample, blood sample. Basically, it's a pinprick at the end of the finger. Put the blood sample onto a slide and put the slide onto my microscope. So what you're looking at here is a live blood sample under a dark field microscope. These round glowing discs are actually your red blood cells. So ideally, they should be evenly spaced and freely moving. Think of them like individual boats floating gently down a river. But in this image, as you can see, many of them are clumping together. And this can be a sign of poor circulation or dehydration or even inflammation in the body. And that fuzzy looking shape near the bottom on the left, that's a white blood cell. That's one of your immune system's protectors. So seeing it here gives us a snapshot of how your body is responding to internal conditions in real time. Live blood analysis like this gives us a unique window into our internal environment, almost like watching a movie of your blood rather than just looking at a still photograph. So it helps us better understand how lifestyle, diet, stress, etc. are affecting your overall health. So after the initial sample was taken, I applied a Defend patch on the forearm of the client. And then we waited and waited and waited some more. So we waited 45 minutes and then it was time to take the second sample. So again, same procedure as the first sample, pinprick at the end of the finger, put the blood sample on a slide onto my microscope. So as you can see, we're looking at the second image now. So compared to the first, you can see a big difference. These red blood cells are much more evenly spaced and round. They're not clumping together like before, which means they're able to move more freely and efficiently through the bloodstream. This shift reflects a healthier internal environment, an improvement in circulation and a cellular function. And the result is from the introduction of the Super Patch Defend patch. Nothing else changed. In the 45 minutes, there was no diet and lifestyle change, anything like that. It was just applying the patch that we see these results. So users often report noticeable benefits, but under the microscope, we can actually see these results, like these red blood cells moving freely, which means better oxygen transport and nutrient delivery. And importantly, it also suggests enhanced mitochondrial activity. So the mitochondria are the energy powerhouses of our cells. And when the blood environment improves, then they can function more efficiently, leading to better energy, immunity, and cell repair. So in the live blood analysis here, we can see the changes that are so powerful, and they visually confirm how the interventions like a non-invasive patch, the Defend patch, can support the body in real time. So as you can see, from the first image to the second image, there's a marked improvement in overall quality. Initially, the red blood cells appeared clumped and overlapping, an indication of potential inflammation, poor circulation, or cellular stress. And in the second image, the red blood cells are round, well-formed, and move evenly. And they're more evenly spaced, and they suggest a healthier internal environment and improved cellular function. So this positive shift correlates with the introduction of supportive interventions, like the Super Patch Defend patch. So these visual improvements highlight how small, consistent changes, especially when supported by targeted tools like the Defend patch, can lead to measurable, meaningful shifts in health on a cellular level. So I hope this was helpful. I hope it was informative and it was interesting for you. And thanks for listening.
Thank you.
That is incredible.
Surprise.
Find
7 years ago.
What
When
was
Russell was
this?
born, it was an amazing experience.
Hang on.
No worries. I muted everyone, so it's no big
Yeah.
deal. When you're ready,
Helen,
Ellen, you
yeah.
can unmute.
Don't
you-
quite know what happened there. Could you hear that? Because the video started carrying on with some music and stuff.
No worries.
It's all good. I got to ask you one question, Helen.
Uh-oh.
You must have been absolutely flabbergasted the first time you ever saw this happen from the patch.
Yeah, it's definitely one of them like aha moments, not oh moments, right? It was like, holy smokes, like what have we got here, right? So yeah, it was definitely like, sure, like it was, I was asked like, here's a Defend patch. Can you look at this under the microscope? Because apparently like an old image from somebody was that this makes a difference on a cell level. I said, sure, no problem, I'll do that. And then sure enough, I looked, I did my experiment with my client and I was originally I wanted to wait an hour. But it's like we're waiting and waiting. And he sat opposite me and he's like, can I go now? I've got things to do. It's like, okay, 45 minutes. We're good. Let's do this. So then we did. And it was a major difference, right? And he was sat there, no drinks, no food, no nothing, no other, he never consumed anything, did anything, put anything else on his skin. It was literally just the patch and time, a little bit of time. It's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's certainly one of my go-tos. I don't go without that patch every day because I think we're subject to so many free radicals, EMF, things that, can do damage in our blood system. And, life is in the blood. And so it's, this patch is like my housekeeper. It just keeps my blood
Yes.
clean and whatever. And so really excited. So thank you so much for your time with us, Helen, today, and for being open to coming on here and sharing what you learned as a microscopist. Oh my God.
You're welcome. I'm
Yeah, you're
helpful.
just showing off now, Terry. That's all you're
He
doing.
is, yeah.
That was great. Thanks again, Helen. We appreciate
Thank
you.
you so much. No problem. You're welcome.
That's so awesome. Well, Nicole, would you like to hop on, friend, and introduce your powerhouse chiropractor. I believe he is next to chat and share with us.
Yes, thank you so much. That was incredible. Wow, what a great way to open this call. I'm like mind blown over here. And Terry, great job on that pronunciation. I would have totally botched it. So I have the pleasure to introduce to you guys Dr. Earl Hendrikz. We have a little bit of a history, you guys. He is a healer. He healed my frozen shoulder, and I love him and his wife and his practice. So I'm so honored and excited that he's here to talk to us about the patches that he has put them in his clinic. So he is the founder of Chirosport Clear Lake, and he runs Clear Lake Integrative Medicine. He's got a deep background in sports chiropractic, soft tissue work, and functional movement. And he's worked with everyone from pro athletes to entire families. What I love about Dr. Hendrikz is that he brings a super well-rounded, practical approach to care. He's just getting started with super patch in his practice, but he has already seen how it supports what he's already doing. And I'm really excited for him to share some of his experiences so far with a few of his patients. So Dr. Hendrikz, if you want to hit unmute and share with us, we'd love to hear from you. Oh, let me unmute you. There you go. Yep.
All right, perfect. Hey, so I am Dr. Hendrikz. I run a clinic here in Clear Lake, Texas, down south of Houston. We are heavy into sports medicine, but my primary focus is in functional movement. I treat high-end athletes well, and we do a great job with them, but where I get my passion is treating regular, everyday people. People are just trying to live fuller lives, better lives. They just want to play with their grandkids in the backyard. Maybe they're running a 5K every other weekend, or maybe even get into CrossFit and stuff like that, where they're just trying to live fuller, better lives, trying to accomplish some goals and prolong the signs of aging and the typical, oh, you're just getting old, now you have to stop running. Oh, you're just getting old, now you have to stop doing the things that you really love to do and accomplish things you want to do. We have, from cradle to the grave, I've got 80-year-olds that are running 5Ks and 10Ks. I've got 5-year-olds and 10-year-olds that are running or doing triathlons and those type of sports. And so they're just trying to accomplish some goals, trying to live better lives. And that's where I get my passion. We brought I was actually introduced to patches about a year ago with another company. They primarily focused on pain and saw some improvement with that. What I got excited about with Super Patch is the range of patches that we have that can address different things. In our practice, because we're so multimodal, I see people in all different walks of life, whether they are dealing with stress, whether they're dealing with nutritional disorders, whether they're dealing with actually athletic issues. And so a lot of times I'm looking for solutions. I'll have a patient on the table and I'm feeling on them, I say, look, your lymph nodes here are swollen. Well, historically, I just tell them, hey, boost your immune system, get some nutrients on board, make sure that you are doing all the things that you need to do in order to get your immune system to fight this off. Now we have the Defend Patch. And I just had a patient in today. I was talking to him. I'd spoken to him last week, 16-year-old high school athlete. I'm dealing with a hip issue on him. And as I was working on him, I noticed, hey, lymph nodes are inflamed here. And I told mom, hey, he's fighting something. A little bit of sniffles, nothing major, just a little bit of sniffles, but he's definitely fighting something. And so she applied the Defend Patch on him. She came in today, or they came in today. And she's like, immediately he started feeling better. The sniffles settled down. He was less symptomatic. Still had some lymph node stuff going on, but obviously the immune system is working and improving and getting him better. And that's what I wanted to see. For him, we also did the Victory Patch because he's an athlete. He tried the Focus Patch, tried a couple of the other patches, student trying to do better in school, but his favorite is that Victory Patch. He immediately noticed the difference from an athletic performance standpoint. And what I told them was about the study that was done with the basketball team. He's a basketball player, where they saw they divide the group into two. They did high jumps, and the group that was patched actually had better performance on the second round of jumps than the first. Where you'd expect to see a fatigue factor coming in that second group with the patch actually did better on the second round. And so that's what got them excited, got us excited about dealing with this for our athletes. The way we introduced this into our clinic was somebody just started talking to some of the patients about it. Just started saying, hey, look, we're trying this out. Let's give it a try on you. Let's see how it works. The patients immediately started seeing a difference. They started getting excited about what it was doing for them. Our next step, and Nicole's the one that suggested this, let's put a display up in the clinic. I don't retail a lot in my clinic. It's just not the way I'm built. And I don't talk about a lot of retail stuff. So just simply putting a display up with patches allowed our patients start seeing it, and then they start asking questions. What is that all about? What are you guys doing with this? And it allows our front desk and me to start engaging a little bit more with them and start driving some people towards those patches. And even the ones that weren't necessarily thinking about something extra to do, this definitely has helped them and helped make a difference in their lives. For whichever, the most popular one in our clinic right now is probably the focus patch. They are just noticing whether it's school teachers or students or just regular people, where they're able to focus better on the task at hand. Peace patch is also a very, very popular patch dealing with stress. Look, stress is a huge factor. And I have, on my side, where I have to deal with stress is the delay in healing. The release of cortisol in the body that helps slow down the healing process. Our patients don't heal as fast. And so I know the concern for some practitioners is, look, is this going to take away from my base treatment options? Are my patients going to say, well, I just need the patch because I don't need that? Well, this allows, especially using something like a peace patch for stress, allows them to heal faster, heal better, get better results. I get better results, and they're happier. And they stay, and they pay, and they refer. And that's what it ends up coming down for our patients, is that they're happy, and they're staying, and they're referring. So those kind of a couple of things that we're doing with it. Just having the display up made a huge difference for the patients that would ask about it. A couple of other things that we saw with the focus patch and combining the focus patch and the peace patch. We have one of our school teachers who deals with attention deficit and lack of focus for some of her students. The one kid, she said she put it on him because she had to do something with him, talk to the parents about it. He was the type that when he would get frustrated, he'd spiral out, and she'd have to put him in outside the room, let him try and set him down. In these cases, historically, he would escalate, start banging his head against the wall, start stomping his feet, get more and more angry. And for this particular student, to put the patch on him that very day, it was quiet outside the room. And she goes out, she looks out the door, and she says, he's sitting there, and he's doing his work. And she said, how you doing, buddy? He goes, I'm fine. And noticed that he didn't spiral out. And so he was able to finish the work, come back into the room, join the class back up again, and had a great day. They go by the 3-point color system. So green is a good day, yellow is a not a great day, and red is a bad day. And she said he went home with a green that day. And usually most days, probably 3 days out of 5, he's going with a yellow. 1 day out of 5, he's going with a red. And so for him to go home for a couple of days with a green is fantastic. She was very, very pleased with that. And is talking to all of her friends about it, her coworkers and teachers who are very interested in seeing how this works. No medication, no drugs, and just simple. And the other thing about it is because if they're on meds, they have that half-life for the meds where the dose starts to wear off. For the patch, they don't get that. And so they can just stay nice and even keeled throughout that day without having to deal with the ups and downs of being medicated. So those are kind of the things that we're seeing in our clinic. Patients are very, very excited about it. I am very pleased with how it's working for our patients. Again, it's not stopping our patients coming in for the regular care. We're still dealing with some of the functional performance issues, but in adding in this as a supplement to our treatment regime has been a really nice improvement, and able to see our patients change immediately. And that's the biggest thing that they said is within that day they're feeling different, they're moving differently, and they're happy. So
That's so amazing. I love that so much. And I have to say, I'm sure one of the biggest reliefs for you is that, just like you said, with there not being any contraindications and you're not having to worry about meds or dosages or, right? Like that's a huge relief where you can just, sure, blindly suggest these. I mean, you have teachers using them that's like absolutely incredible. I love that
yeah,
so much.
it's fantastic. The biggest thing for us is that it's non-medicative, so they're not having to use the meds. And I'm not going to tell them don't take your medication, but for those that are either haven't decided they fully want to take meds, they decided they want to get off the meds, it allows them to be able to use these patches without that, and hopefully get them off the meds. I've got another patient I was just talking to. She'd been diagnosed with Parkinson's, and we're starting to see, I don't know, we're not supposed to talk about specific, but she is seeing improvement in those Parkinsonian symptoms, the trembling of her hand, immediate difference. And that's what we get excited about, because without medication, without drugs, without surgery, without any of this other stuff, and even if they're on that stuff, there's no contraindications. It doesn't interact with any of that stuff. And so they can feel comfortable knowing that this is not going to affect anything else that they're doing other than making them better.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think another really important thing you said there too, even when you were chatting earlier about how adding in the piece patch helps, because our body is so synergistic, right? Like every piece connects to the other. And so when you're able to bring down stress, you're bringing down the pain and you're calming people so they're able to focus. You're doing so much there, and you're helping people, even helping them become better adjusted, right? When you're doing your adjustments as a chiropractor, if somebody is less stressed, obviously they're going to hold that placement better, right? Like I find it's incredible that you can use each of these and they're fitting in these practices. You know, your practice is very different than Helen's, right? But you guys are both using them, and I find that amazing. We're so grateful that you shared with us, and we're so grateful to have you representing Super Patch. It's been an honor to have you. Thank you so much.
For having me on. Appreciate you.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Earl. Awesome. That's just, like you said, Ricky, it's just so amazing how it's fitting into so many different practices, and so many wellness professionals are starting to grab onto this technology, because it's absolutely amazing how it helps the current modalities and things they're doing to have the body uptake those modalities, or those issues that they're having. Any other modalities they're using to help with that, the patches help your body uptake it faster and better. So that's incredible. So our next speaker is been a very good friend of mine, has become a great friend. As Ricky said, this is an amazing culture here. And Darlene has been a RMT, registered massage therapist, specializing in deep muscle restriction. And she has been basically a massage therapist for more than 3/4 of her life. And she also is a certified cognitive behavioral coach who has helped so many, including herself, with our technology. She is a mom, she's a wife, she's a grandma, and also a nationally recognized photographic artist. So it's with great pleasure that I introduce to you all my dear friend, Darlene Reimer Fros. Darlene? Do you see her on there?
I'm searching.
There she is. I'll send her an ask to unmute.
Oh, there we
But
go.
just-
Okay, you found me.
There you
I'm
go. There
here.
you go.
Thank you. Thank you. It's great to be here. Yeah, so when you list all those things, I guess I'm a busy girl. So some of these things kind of happen by accident, and other things just fall into place. And Super Patch was one of the things that fell into place for me as a massage therapist. These are my tools. This is what I work with. And a lot of what I do is intuitive, as far as I have I guess you could say a gift. It's just one of those things that when I put my hands on somebody, I can feel what's going on. And they're, you know, right down to the really freaky stuff. Like I'll put my hands on somebody and I'll be like, so are you drinking water? Like at all? And they're like, how did you know? You know, all these things that kind of come out just by touch. So that whole aspect of what your body can perceive just by being close to somebody or touching somebody, that is nothing new to me. And so when I had a client bring me some information about a product that she said she spent way too much money on that was supposed to help her and didn't, and she knew how much I love to pick stuff apart because I am one of these people that loves our good rabbit hole like there's nobody's business. So, you know, for me to have a product that comes across my path and says it says it's supposed to work, but I don't think it does, and you know, these controversies come up, and it's like, sure, I'll take a look. And I took a look at it, and it took me all of, I don't know, maybe a minute and a half to say, oh my word, the premise behind this, if you could get the brain into homeostasis, like, yeah, I'm all for this. So I contacted the company and they sent me some samples, and I promptly took it over to my dad, who was having some balance issues, and phenomenal immediate response with him. And I'm like, okay, there I go. I guess I have a new company. And so I joined. And when I started using the product, to be fair, this is for all of you skeptics out there, I did not really feel a difference for about 5 months. Why is that the case? When it's showing up in the brain scan to be active within 7 seconds for that particular patch, why did I not feel a difference for 5 months? And I think part of that is because I did not realize how dysregulated my nervous system was. For whatever reason, any number of 12 different things, my nervous system was completely shot. And it took that long to get it kind of back online. And so that was part of what got me into the whole cognitive therapy part of my world, was to realize that so many things that I experienced in my own life had to do with the dysregulated nervous system. And if I was feeling that way and I was normal, how many people that struggle go through so much? And that really started to open up worlds of my thought patterns and my own healing and my own journey down that road of mental health, and being able to look at that neurologically through something that helped the nervous system. So that's how it's kind of integrated into my life. But also the fact that, you know, going back to when I was introduced to it, something that can help your brain stay into that homeostatic response. How much more can your body do when it's not fighting stuff, when it's not trying to escape something, when it's not in survival mode? How much more could your body do? So imagine me, who tries to put people into a homeostatic response on the table. If I could send them home with something that could keep them there, how much better are they going to be when they come back to see me? And how much more benefit can I be to them by them using this product when they're not with me? So that's where I started to jump on board with this, really as a therapist end of it, and come full circle to the client who said that it didn't do anything for her. She said that to me, and I says, well, you know what? How long have you? How many days did you try this product? She said 2. I said, and how many years have you had your chronic pain condition? Long pause. And I said, yeah, see, maybe it's going to take a little bit longer for you to see those mind-blowing effects. It's still working. We can see that on the brain scans. Just because you don't feel that immediate response sometimes doesn't mean that it's not working. And so that's something that I've been able to educate people on within my own practice, is that I want you to try these products. I want you to continue to try these products because I know that they're having an effect on you, even if you can't see that light bulb moment every single time that you put this on. Over the course of time, usually what I would tell them to is, if you're going to give it a month trial, try it for 25 days, go off of it for 3. At that point, if you're not scraping to try to find your patches again, then, you know, it may take a little longer, but just usually that's as much time as they need to say, okay, yeah, you're right. They did make a difference, and I just wasn't seeing it right away. So that's where it has been very beneficial for my own personal experience, and also for the experience of my clientele. I'm not pushy with them. I'm not a salesperson. So my biggest thing is education. So if I say, these are the stretches, I'm not going to go and hold your arm behind your back to make you do them, but this is going to make your life better. Here's my patches. I'm not going to hold your arm behind your back to try them, but this is going to make your life better. You decide. You put that control into the palm of your hand. You decide what you want to use and how this is going to fit into your life. And you know what? If you think that they're too expensive, go find 3 other people to order some too. You've just got your patches for free. You know, it's kind of one of those things where it's like it's a win-win. And so that's how it's kind of been integrated into my practice, integrated into my life. I am so thankful for the patches. I could tell you story upon story. I could probably do a whole Zoom call just myself on stories. I'm not going to keep you to that because there's more professionals that we can hear from. But I am just so thrilled with what it's done for those people around me. And I am so pleased to share this.
Yeah, I love that. And I love too that of you asking that pretty point blank question, right? And I'm sorry, how long have you had your issue, right? Because that is the problem. Oftentimes people are expecting instant results. And while a lot of people get that, a lot of people don't. And so I love the wisdom behind that, of that very important question of how long has it been? And then also following up with, how about you give that a little bit longer? And I love that you said it took you 5 months. I was one of the longer ones. And for me, it was almost, well, it was what you said last, which was a little over 3 weeks. And then I stopped them completely. And that's when I was like, whoa, okay, that was really making a difference, right? Because I was using them for 3 weeks and didn't know that it was really making any difference with me, and then stopped them. And yes, it was. So
yeah, it can be subtle. It's neurological. It can be subtle. It's not a drug. It's not a pill.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so it can be subtle sometimes. Yeah.
Very good point there too, because so often people are used to the pills and stimulants or sedatives, right? Either way, that's what people are used to. So to have something that is subtle and that does bring that homeostasis, that's another little thing here, you guys. A lot of people actually aren't used to homeostasis in their bodies. So that alone can make them slightly uncomfortable if they've been used to having stress or anxiety or whatever for a prolonged period. But thank you so much. We're honored that you were here and that you would share with us. And yes, we look forward to hearing more from you in the future.
You're very welcome.
Our next sweet girl is one of my dearest friends. Let's add you up here, Melissa. Let's see where you are. So Melissa and I have known each other. We are soul sisters. She's shared once with us before here. Some of you guys have heard from her. She has 3 million different incredible stories. Anytime I get even remotely down, it's like God knows it, and he'll send me Melissa to send me some sort of incredible message that'll blow my mind that day. She's a gift to me, and she is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. She worked as a social worker, I think, for 15 years. Is that right, Melissa? Not if that's right. Yeah. So she has her BA, CNP, CBP, or Bachelor of Arts in Social Work, Education, and Behavior Psychology. And then she's been a Doctor of Natural Medicine for the last 5 years. And that's actually when we connected, was over this last year. We're both rebels of sorts, and it's been such a joy getting to know Melissa and being in there with her as we get to play around with these patches. That's what I like to say, right, Melissa? Because there's so many times that we've taught ourselves wild things with the patches, and again, mind-blowing stories. And I'm super excited and honored that you're here again, and I would love for you to share with us.
Hi, everyone. It's so awesome to see all of you. Well, for those of you that know me, you will know that Super Patch is a very deep passion of mine. I don't know I didn't know what I was going to talk about tonight, and I was thinking about all my stories and all the people I've helped, and I want to keep it simple. Tonight, I was thinking I'm going to approach this as a mom. So I've approached this from a medical perspective many times. I've shared many stories about people that I work with. But I'm also a mom, and I have 5 kids. And one of the things that I love, and that I love that I can share with other parents, is the simplicity of Super Patch, that it's safe, that we can promise and give the promise to other people that we're not going to harm them. There's no drugs in this. There's no supplements. We have no fear of putting this on anyone and it affecting them in a negative manner. My son, I'm going to share a quick story of what really got me excited about this, even for children. And then I'll get into a little bit about, I am a huge advocate for children with special needs. I do a lot of behavioral therapy work. And so I love that these work for children. But my story started even with kids, with my son. So I have a 5-year-old and he was at the park last summer. I've been using Super Patch for about a year now. And it really hit me in that moment what we had. It was like that moment with my son was, this is it. This is the future of health and wellness. I'm never leaving. I will hold these patches for eternity. But my son was at the park with my husband. He came home and he was screaming in terror and we didn't know what happened. He had fallen and it might've been a broken elbow, but we didn't have any idea. And at this point I had all these patches around me and I thought, well, let's just stick something on him and see if it helps. So I grabbed a peace patch and I stuck it on him and he was so hysterical, screaming and crying. And we put this peace patch on him and instantly, it was not even 2 seconds and he calmed down and he was extremely mellow. And it's like, it just brought him into homeostasis. It calmed his nervous system. So we went to the hospital, and during the hospital visit, of course, he had to have x-rays and pokes and prods from the doctors. And we didn't give him any medication, no pain meds of any sort. And nobody in this room could believe that he was so calm, because he did in fact break his elbow. And I mean, by the end of this visit, I was selling patches to people in the emergency room. I was selling them to people waiting for x-rays, because nobody could believe how mellow this little guy was, and he had just broken his elbow. And so it was then for me, it was like, that's it, like I'm here. So now I have learned with my kids. So we have lots of, when you have kids, you get lots of bruises and bumps and things, is that these patches, we can give them to them quickly. So my daughter sometimes will get headaches because she had a bit of a fall last summer, and we can just put it on and it seems to really calm them. So if you have children, you need the peace patch in your home. You need to be holding that patch closely. It needs to go with you wherever you go, because often when we have pain or something happens, the first response is that we have to calm our nervous system down, right? We have to get kind of back to the mellow state, and the peace patch really helps. So that is because of the ability to help children, and kids don't have placebo effect, right? We know it works with them. They put it on and instantly we can tell that it's working. Another patch I love is the Freedom Patch. So the Freedom Patch was able to take away all of our need for any type of Advil, Tylenol, any of those things, because you just stick it on a child and it helps them, it calms them, it takes away their pain. So this is where I wanted to kind of bring it tonight, is that it's such a powerful tool for us, for our kids, for anyone, especially people. And in my practice, so I am a naturopath, and one of the things that I do is I do frequency medicine. So my main focus is to work on the nervous system. That's our whole goal, is to get to the root and to calm the nervous system down. But people don't understand that so much of our health is tied to our neurology. And skin issues are tied to our neurology. Behavior issues and inability to focus is tied to our neurology. And inability to handle stress can be tied right to our neurology. Our pain management. Have you ever heard someone, or you hear that phrase often, right? That people have a really high pain tolerance. It's not necessarily that they have this high pain tolerance or that they don't know how, it's that their brain knows how to handle pain, that they have this ability in their neurology to be able to deal with their body. And what happens over time is that we break that down, and our neurology is not working for us, it's sometimes working against us. So that's what I am the most excited about. I have so many stories. I mean, when I first came on with Super Patch, that was what I did. I found my hardest clients because I wanted to make sure it was real and that it was what I thought it was going to be. And I found people that had terrible car accidents that were struggling. I found people that were having lots of sleep issues, people that had chronic pain. I found all of the symptoms I could, and we put the patches on. And between that and what I've seen with my kids, I know that it truly is the future of health and wellness. So if you are a parent, you need the patches. If you have a practice, you need the patches. If you breathe, you need the patches. If you, have, like Terry said earlier, a brain, you need them. And what I love is that they're just so simple. And Ricky can, she can come in and even comment on this, but we have been in the supplement world for a long time, and we've seen all the things, right? Like take this and take that. And you can get so overwhelmed with what your body actually needs and so overwhelmed with what you should be taking and what you shouldn't be doing. But the truth is if you work on your neurology, your body just works for you and it just begins to do what it was created to do. So I'm a full advocate for them. I love them so much. I have a story for everything, and I get so excited. I just had a story this past week that was unbelievable. Someone that was just in the hospital and how the patches just worked. They just put them on. They were in this horrible place, and the patches just brought the body into a place of calmness. I don't go anywhere without them. I take them with me. My husband was laughing at me the other day. I was at the accountant and I took my patches and I was showing them to her, and she was so stressed out, and she's like, I'm so overwhelmed and I can't focus. And I was like, well, here you go. Let's work on that. So you can really take them with you everywhere. You
do
can
the
share them.
exact same thing on the plane this past week. I'm popping them on people and wherever I am. But I want to go back to number one. Yes, the message that you sent me over the weekend on that story was absolutely mind blowing. So another thing Melissa and I have in common is, so when I practiced, I always attracted the sickest of the sick, right? There was something about me that was like, I wasn't afraid of anything. Bring it on. Let's help you. And Melissa's the same way. So it was really funny because we'll put our brains together quite often because there's so many things that we're just not afraid of. We've seen it. We know how incredible our bodies are and how we are set up to find homeostasis if we give it the right tools. And so both of us have seen not only the dangers of big pharma, because we obviously will not go anywhere near that. That's what we've set our lives up to do something differently. But we've seen exactly what Melissa has said is that, we've seen supplements become secondary to big pharma in so many ways, and that they are dangerous and untested and unproven, and they're being thrown at everyone. And it's not a safe solution for many people. So that we can step in here and bring safe solutions. I have, just like you, a million stories. This is absolutely, so I've been in health and holistic wellness for 19 years. And just like you, simplest thing I've ever done for my family, we absolutely use peace and freedom weekly, at least, on some little injury that's happened around our family with our kids. And it's so easy. We're not harming anyone. We're only helping to balance things for the long term, right? And I think that is also what's super different, what sets us apart.
Right. And with our kids, I don't know about you, but there's the big struggle to get things in their mouth. Like my youngest son is so stubborn. He will not put nothing in his mouth.
Right.
Like it's right. And just to imagine that we can just throw all that away and stop the fighting and everyone's mad and we're all worked up. Like, think about the times you had to give your kids medication, and by the time you're done trying to pin them down on the bed, right? But we don't have to do that. And it's amazing. Like, I know sometimes they don't always keep them on. And I'll be honest, my kids, like I'll find patches around my house on the carpet. We might have worn it for 20 minutes, but it really does work, and they will, and they'll come to me. And my kids are so funny, but they know what patch does what. So Emmerich will come, he'll say, I need a peace patch, or I need this patch, or I need that patch. So even in the comments, yeah, I hear that all the time. I wish I would have had this when my kids were little, I work with a lot of teachers and people in the school system and a lot of kids with special needs. And it's such a cool way that we can just target their nervous system in such a simple way. So if you are a parent,
Melissa? Do you know what's exciting? As I sit here and listen, you ladies, and the excitement and the enthusiasm in your voice, it's so infectious. And you know what? I've never heard anybody get that excited about Tylenol.
Amen. That is so good, Terry. And you know what's funny? So Melissa's saying that about the yucky taste. So because my oldest is 22 and my youngest is 3, I have all ages in between. My parenting style has changed quite a bit too, but my older 3, especially my older 2, often say, they'll roll their eyes. They love the patches. They use them, but they'll say, this is so not fair, Mom. You forced herbal things and nasty green drinks and all sorts of gross concoctions down us when we were little. And really, the little kids get a patch? Like, this is so not fair. But you guys, when Jay uses the analogy that the patches help to reset the brain to factory settings, if you think about that, you can really understand why they work so quickly on little ones, right? Because our little ones' brains are so close to factory settings. They don't have all those years of poor habits and trauma and injuries or chemicals or whatever. They're just little and their bodies are so primed for it. So absolutely, hands down, simplest thing I've ever done for my family. That's the most effective and life-changing, right?
Yes, I love it.
I love it. Thank you so much, Melissa. That was
You're
my
welcome.
I love it. I love always hearing
You're
from
so excitable and so infectious. Your personality is just, it's very exciting, Melissa.
Thank you so much.
for sure. Let's see, Terry, friend, who is next? I believe it's our
Okay.
last amazing guy of the
So we
night,
got
right?
Dr. Giordano, and I believe Peter is going to introduce Dr. Giordano. Peter, are you there? We got to find Peter.
Might have to unmute Peter. Sorry, you guys. I'm trying to figure out our, oh, there you are, Peter. Let's see, ask to unmute. Maybe that'll help.
There you go. Hey everyone, how are you?
Hey, Peter.
Hello. Oh my gosh, am I ever excited about introducing our next guest tonight? I could talk to him for hours, but we don't have that tonight. We only have about 10 minutes, so I'm going to introduce him really quick. He is one of the leading experts in addiction, mental health, and the psychedelic alternative medicine. He's the founder of the National Institute for Holistic Studies. Also, he's an author of many books, but one of his acclaimed books is The Kid from the Bronx Who Never Gave Up. And also, he has a 70-bed facility in North Miami for trauma and addiction. And he's also, I don't want to forget anything, the founder of the National Institute for Holistic Studies. And the most important thing, he has been a part of over 80 peer review studies. Yes, 80 peer review studies. I would love to welcome Dr. John Giordano and my business partner. Hello. Oh, he's not, he's muted.
Am I muted?
You're no.
I'm okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
we got you now.
Oh, okay, good. All right. Hi, everybody. Listen, it's just a pleasure to be with all of you. As far as I'm concerned, we're all helping God's kids. And that's what this is all about. And what's interesting is I'm in 80 medical and scientific peer review journals. I work with geneticists, neuroscientists, psychiatrists, psychologists from about 12 universities, and looking at alternative medicine and psychedelic medicine and different alternative treatments that are not mainstream. I've been working with frequencies for about 25 years. Jay has taken it to another level. I love how he's using the skin as a superhighway to the brain. And if everybody realizes that what these frequencies and these vibroacoustic technology is what it is the software for the brain. The brain is a computer. So what you're doing is you tagging right into that computer and setting up the software to do its job. What I love about it is you can put multiple patches on. These other systems that I've dealt with, we only can put one on, or maybe two, okay, on acupuncture points, but not on the superhighway of the body, which is the skin. What got me very interested in it was I'm also a martial artist, a grand master of martial arts, and I'm 78 years old, and I'm entering a tournament in July. So I've been working my katas, or these are forms, and I noticed because I have 2 hip replacements, my balance was off. So when I got involved with Super Patch, I put this patch on, all right, and I said, wow, wait a second, my balance is better. And I thought that was very interesting. So being a researcher, I wanted to make sure that when I put these patches on, I did it properly. And that's very important that you don't put it over scars. You don't have any cream on your body. You don't put it on hair. You make sure it's clean. This way you get a good connection, just like batteries. If they're not connected properly, they don't work as well. And these patches work incredibly well. Now, my wife suffers from depression. And at the time, she was in a depressed state. And just so happens these patches came along. I gave her the stress patch, calmed her down. And then I gave her the joy patch. And she started smiling. And I'm going, wait a while, this is very interesting. So this technology is an incredible technology. He took it to another level, Jay. You know, frequencies have been around for many years, but this type and the way he formulated it and the approach that he's taking, it's a reset in your brain, is what's happening. And it's connecting into different quadrants in your brain that are connected to different feelings, different emotions, different things that are going on, bringing your body back into homeostasis. Now, sometimes, see, we're conditioned to have things done right away. Okay, sometimes it takes time for the body to recalculate. And what people don't understand sometimes is that the sicker you are, the better you're going to see this work. And sometimes it's just like nutrients or anything else. When people are out of balance and it takes something to rebalance them, the more out of balance they are, the more they notice it. Now, all of us need to be in balance for sure. Not all of us are not totally in homeostasis either. So you may notice this right away, or you might notice this over time. But all I can tell you is this: I don't tout anything that doesn't work because I have a reputation of working on alternative medicine. This is an incredible technology. The way he used the skin as a superhighway, the way he's dealing with the software of the brain, it's an incredible technology that really works. I put it on other people. I wanted to watch their reaction. I just said, you know, I said, well, how are you feeling today? Well, I feel a little down. It's like, I got, look, just put this on. Well, what is it? What's in it? Nothing's in it. It's only frequencies. Let me know what happens. And all of a sudden, they said, what is this? I feel different. I says, well, I didn't want to tell you what it was or how it works because I didn't want to lead you. I wanted you to give me a good response. And that's what I've received. So I'm working on some other researches, things with these patches in my treatment center. And I put it on myself as far as stress goes. You know, I work with people that I've had people die in my arms. I work with horrific situations that addicts and alcoholics and people have mental health issues. And I didn't realize that I was being more stressed out than I normally am because we all get stressed. And I put the patches on and I was like, you know, I'm a little bit more calmer than normal. And then I realized that, wait a second, this is really cool. This is really working really well. So all I can say for those that are listening that are new to this, do it properly, make sure it's done right. Okay, don't put all these expectations on things. Okay, they do work. That I can promise you. Because our bodies, our minds, our systems, it's not just a physical system. We have an electrical system. We have our bodies are made of frequencies and energy, and we're tapping into that energy. Okay, we're conditioned to take pills. Okay, I'm for what works. Okay, but all I can tell you is there are other things that we can do to feel good, like Super Patch. And I like the fact that all the people that spoke and their experiences was incredible, especially the young lady with the blood samples and showing that. I mean, one picture worth many words, you know? So bottom line, stick with it. do it properly. All right, give it a chance. Some will work quickly, some will work not as quick, but it does work. And that's basically what I have to say.
Hey, John, would you let us know what the name of your treatment center is?
Yeah, it's JC's Recovery Center. It's
Okay.
a faith-based program in Hollywood, Florida.
Okay, perfect. And do you incorporate each of the patches in there? Or are you using
I just, to be honest with you, first I do it with me and my family, and now I did it with a few people at the treatment center, and now I'm gonna dive in. I mean, I'm new at this with you guys.
Okay, John, so you're saying we're catching you at the beginning. We are all the lucky ones that are catching you right as you're starting to implement this, right? Like, so you've been using them on you and just a few people, and now it's about we're gonna have you back on then. We're ready in a month or two. We want you back on to hear some stories.
Yeah, well, I wanna see about the kick it patch and things like that, and some of the other technologies that we have, the different patches. The joy patch I love, the balance patch, the energy patch I really like. Okay, and you see, I know these things work, so
For
I'm
sure.
not the greatest person to try it on sometimes, but
No, I love it. Well, look, John, I'm going to connect you after with some of our other practitioners because you're going to want to hear. We talked about them on some of the other calls, so I won't talk about them tonight. But you're going to want to hear some of our kick it stories when it comes to all of this. So I'm really excited to talk to you after this, and we're very, very excited to have you a part of this and to have you back on. Um, you're a major inspiration, and at 78 years young, we are excited to see you. And in your what martial arts do you do again?
I'm a Grand Master in the Black Belt Hall of Fame, a five-time national karate champion. I'm also a black belt in judo, a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I've been doing it for over 60 years. So, and that's another thing to introduce it into the martial art community.
Right, right,
Well,
exactly.
you know what's really exciting, John, is you are new in it, and to see the confidence in your voice and the encouragement about use it and give it a chance, and to let people know that their bodies are made up of frequencies and using the skin as the communication highway, and to hear your enthusiasm being this new in it and having the credits and the education and the credibility behind you is really, really important for all the people on the call here today, because we know that if people like you have results and put your stamp of approval on it, then we know there's so many more people out there that are in the professional wellness field that can help people even further than what they're doing currently with the addition of this tool into their practice. So thank you so much for that. It was incredible.
I just wanted to bring forward that they have to be put on properly, because sometimes people don't put these patches on properly and they don't get the best results that they still get some kind of results, but not the best. Okay, so you got to follow directions. It's just like anything else. Okay, so being a researcher, I got to make sure everything I do is exactly the same when I give it to somebody else.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm not going to get the same results.
No, that's so good. That's so good. And I have to share one more thing, John, that you said at the beginning that like immediately I was like, yep, I love this, man, is that you were saying that we're all here to help God's children. And that's absolutely one of the things Jay has said. And one of the things that got me with Jay is he said that we have something that humanity at this point deserves, right? Like our fellow human deserves what we have. And I think that's so powerful. So I am honored to link arms with you and sharing this with God's children and bringing to the humanity what we deserve, right? So I really love that. Last little thing I saw in the comments, someone said, I don't read these usually, but this was really good, Danielle. She said, my husband smoked every day for 60 years after putting on Kick It. August 29th is when that was. He's not had one cigarette, no urges, no mood swings. He's actually been nice. So that's really amazing. I thought it'd be a fun one
These
too.
technologies work. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. Believe me, I would not get on this call if I didn't believe that they work. Okay, that's just the bottom line. So for you, all of you who are on this call, keep going because God is watching over this program. It's definitely needed. So just keep going, man.
Amen. Thank you. We appreciate you. We're so glad that you came. And thank you guys all for getting on. We are grateful to each one of our doctors and practitioners and chiropractors that have shared. And we will have this recording out soon. Terry, you have anything else you want to share before we end this?
No, I just want to pass on my thanks to everybody, all our wellness practitioners and professionals that jumped on here to share a little bit of their personal experience and why they decided to link arms with us. And you bring so much credibility to this product. And so we're grateful for that. And for all you that took the time out of your night to join us here this evening, give yourselves a pat on the back, and we'll have this recording up so that you can share it with people. We need to let the world know. We need to let God's children know what we have to share to improve the quality of their life. So that's all I have to say, Ricky. Thanks for doing this again. Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you guys for coming. We'll see y'all in a month on the next one.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Ricky. Thanks, Terry.